Okay, we are starting a new fun cup today. I just turned on the wrong turner. And I turned off the wrong one. I have a 20-ounce Skinny Straight. I have this North Pole Milk and Cookie Co. Baking Fresh Daily Decal, which is going to go on this one. It's from Butterfly Lane Designs subscription box. So when I went through and paired up the vinyls and the decals, I had like 4 that didn't really go with any of the vinyls in my planning, so that was one of them. I have a little cup with epoxy that I have pulled to the side, and then I have my main cup. It's extremely cold, so this has a ton of micro bubbles. Don't worry about that. I'm going to mix in some of my Touch of Rose to my main cup. So we're going to get this coat on. It's going to be tough to spread because it's so thick. In my secondary cup, I'm going to mix in some of my Pearl X Pearl White micropigment. No technical measurement here, I'm just dumping a little in. So that's going to be my drizzly mix. So I'm going to try and leave some of the white and the glitter just as is. I'm not going to try and do a full coverage ink on this because I really do want some of the white shining through. I'm just going to preheat it a little bit, loosen up that epoxy, start the bubble process. And all I'm going to use is the Prism Pink, which is the Shimmer TRex Pink. And I'm going to use the Dragon Fruit Pink, which is from the starter set from TRex. No, it's more of an orangey coral than a pink. Well, maybe once it's on there it turns pinker. Yeah, once it spreads. Alright. I was worried there for a second. Again, I don't want full coverage on the inks. So that's it for ink, and then I'm going to go ahead and drizzle the pearl with the other epoxy everywhere. Okay, so now I am just going to hit it with the torch only for a little bit of heat. Let's see if I can't get it flowing, because I do want some movement. I don't want just wads of ink. And I need the mica to simmer down. Flatten out. So I'm going to pick this up and tilt it as it starts to flow. It's okay if some drips off the bottom. I'm going to tilt it back the other way. I'm going to set it down. It's turning away from me. I'm going to switch it so it's turning towards me. If I can find the right switch. Here we go again. I don't know if I turned that or not. Anybody? I'm going to go ahead and tilt that up again. Just for a second. So I did end up with a much more concentrated pink section here than I really would have liked. But I don't know if I have enough of this white left to break that up some. I'm going to try. It's still pretty, it's just not quite what I wanted. The rest of it is. I'm going to grab that light pink shimmer too again. And I'm just going to put 1 or 2 drops of that. It might also help push it apart a little bit. So I'm going to tilt it down again. There, that did break it up some. Change the color effect. Let's smooth this out some. So it should level itself back off as it spins and dries. When this coat is dry, I will take a feel of it and see if it is smooth enough to go on to decal. If it's not, I'll get another coat on it. But if it is, I will come back in and we will get the decal done and move on to the next step. Okay, so I am ready to get this cup finished up. I am shaking up a Pearl alcohol ink. My epoxy is mixed, so I do have to move relatively quickly. But the first thing I'm going to do is get my decal placed. North Pole Milk and Cookie Company, and I don't want it too close to the top. I have 20 mLs of resin mixed up. I'm using the Tumblers Lightening Cure epoxy for this because it's basically going to start setting instantly, and I do have some little embellishments. I think I'm going to stick to the couple of gingerbread men that I have left. I think I only have 2. Maybe a couple of little green trees and some of the candy canes. I may just do the gingerbread and the candy canes though. We'll see. So Into my epoxy, I am going to mix white because milk and cookies, milk. This is the Alumilite Opaque White Resin dye. And I'm going to mix in some of the Pinata Pearl alcohol ink. Let it sit for a couple seconds. And get these little guys out of here. Okay, so this is already well on its way. So I'm just going to pour it around the edge. Oh, and I do think I have a little piece of a stick under there. And that was kind of a long line. I'm gonna have to wipe off. That's glitter actually that I just picked up on my cup. Okay. I'm gonna let that sit face down a second. I'm gonna grab a baby wipe and hopefully be able to get that off. So it's like working with fluff. It's the only way I can describe what is going on. I do want to encourage some actual like drips, so I'm gonna work it down. Just a couple here and there. And break up any bubbles. I might make it run a little bit. Okay, so I do want to try and maybe get a little bit of this out of here before it sets up fully. Okay, so I'm going to grab my little tidbits. But I'm going to do the 2 cookies since that's all I have. Little Santa head. Oh, I kept 3 of the Santa heads by accident. I only want 2. And this is going to get a coat of epoxy over it, so that will hold these little clay bits really in place. One more candy cane. And I think I'm going to call that good. Super fast, super simple drip. I'm going to try and get the rest of this drip cleaned off of here with a clean baby wipe. And then we're gonna let it cure up for a little bit and get it under epoxy. Okay, so I am ready to get the coat of epoxy on this. My epoxy is pretty thick. It was cold mixing it, and I have a lot mixed up because I'm going to work my way down my line and coat a bunch. So I'm going to get it coated, and I'm going to cut away while I finish up my epoxy, and then we'll come back and look at it. This is just a standard slow curing epoxy, whatever works in your environment. I say that because it's cold here and my environment constantly changes depending on if we're heating, what we're heating with. So I switch up my epoxy constantly to try and keep up with my weather. So use what's working for you. It's going to be different for everybody everywhere. Okay, I'm going to work my way down the line and then be right back. Okay, I'm going to torch this one quick. Alright, just going to pick it up so you can see it, because I already gave you a pretty good close-up when I did the drip. It's so adorable. North Pole Milk and Cookies. Milk and Cookie Co. Baking fresh daily. And I love everything about this cup. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.